What if trying to be happy is the reason you're miserable? Think about it. Every time you're sad, you try to fix it. You're bored, so you grab your phone. You're lonely, so you find someone to talk to. You're stressed, so you distract yourself. You have a bad day, and the second you get home, you try to forget it ever happened. We're basically being taught that feeling bad is a problem. And the moment we aren't happy, we start asking ourselves what's wrong with our lives. But what if nothing is wrong? What if you're not supposed to feel happy every day? What if sadness, boredom, loneliness, anger, or whatever it is aren't problems you need to fix? Maybe the problem isn't that you're unhappy, maybe you've just been taught that you should be. Think about how ridiculous our expectations for happiness actually are. You wake up, you go to school, you come home, you're tired, you don't feel particularly excited about anything, and suddenly your brain starts going, is this it? Why am I not happier? What am I doing wrong? That's such a weird question when you really think about it, because why do we expect ourselves to feel good all the time? Imagine someone who's happy every single second of every single day. You probably think there's something wrong with them. If their pet died, they're happy. If they fail an exam, they're happy, or something like that. At some point, you'd be like, dude, are you okay? But somehow we expect exactly that from ourselves. I think social media has made this so much worse, because you can open your phone for 5 minutes and see someone living their life you wish you had. Someone's traveling, someone just bought a car, got married, dream body, or started a business or whatever it is, and then you look around your room and you think, why doesn't my life look like that? But you're complaining your ordinary Tuesday to someone else's best 5 seconds. And the worst part is that you don't even realize you're doing it. You start thinking your life is boring because someone else's looks exciting. You start thinking you're behind because someone your age is more successful, or that you're wasting your youth because someone online is constantly traveling, and eventually you don't even know whether you're unhappy or whether you're just constantly being reminded that you could supposedly be happier. And that's where I think we messed up happiness. We've turned it into a goal, something we've supposed to achieve. Like it's sitting at the end of some giant checklist: get a job, make money, find someone, buy a house, and then be happy. But there's a problem. You can actually get all of those things and still have a bad day. You can have money and be stressed. You can have a relationship and feel lonely. You can have a great job and hate going to work sometimes. You can have everything you thought you wanted and still wake up one morning feeling completely empty. And when that happens, you start thinking, wait, I got everything I wanted. Why am I still not happy? Because happiness was never supposed to be a permanent state. Think about Minecraft. You spend hours mining, you find diamonds, and for a few seconds, you're ecstatic. You run back to your base, you make the diamond pickaxe, maybe enchant it, and then what? You need more diamonds. Then you need netherite. Then you need better armor. Then you need a bigger house. And 5 minutes later, you're thinking, okay, what now? Because the satisfaction doesn't last forever. And then that's not because the diamonds weren't worth getting, it's because you got used to having them. That's just how humans work. We adapt. The thing you desperately want today eventually becomes the thing you don't even think about tomorrow. And this happens outside of games too. Maybe you really want a new phone. You spend months thinking about it. You watch reviews, you compare models, you save money. And when you finally buy it, you're obsessed with it for a week, and then it becomes, well, your phone. So you want the next thing. Better phone, a better car, a better house, more money, more attention, followers, achievements. And there's nothing wrong with wanting those things. The problem is believing that the next thing will finally make you permanently happy, because there's always going to be another thing. And I think this is why people are so uncomfortable with boredom. The second there's nothing happening, we reach for our phones. You're waiting for the elevator, you pick up your phone. You're waiting for food, you pick up your phone. You sit on the toilet, phone. Laying in bed, phone. You have 5 seconds of silence and suddenly you're watching a video about a guy ranking the top 10 refrigerators. Like, why? Because we're uncomfortable being alone with our own thoughts. We're used to so constantly stimulating ourselves that boredom feels wrong. But boredom isn't necessarily bad. Sometimes your brain just needs to do nothing. Sometimes you don't need entertainment. Sometimes you can just sit there and let your brain wander. The same thing happens with sadness. We treat sadness like something embarrassing, like we need to hide it. Someone asks, how are you? And almost automatically you say, I'm good, even when you're not. And I get it. You don't want to dump your problems on everyone, but sometimes you don't even admit to yourself that you're struggling. You're just distracting yourself until you forget about it. Play games, watch videos, go out, sleep, whatever it is, and eventually you convince yourself you're fine, until the same feeling comes back because you never actually dealt with it. You just kind of buried it. And I'm not saying that you should sit in your room and be miserable, obviously not. If you're unhappy with something in your life, you should absolutely try to change it. And if you hate your job, work towards something better. If you're unhealthy, take care of yourself. If you're lonely, meet people, and all of that. There's nothing wrong with improvement, but there's a massive difference between I want my life to improve and I'm not allowed to be unhappy until my life is perfect. The first one is healthy. The second one is a trap. Because sometimes you can do everything right and still have a terrible day. You can sleep 8 hours, eat healthy, go to the gym, talk to your friends, and still feel like shit. And that's okay. It doesn't mean your routine failed. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean your life is going downhill. It means you're a human being. Anger can tell you that something matters. Sadness can tell you that you've lost something important. They're not always pleasant, but they're not useless either. Imagine if you only experienced happiness. You wouldn't even know what happiness felt like. You need contrast. You need bad days to appreciate the good ones. You need failure to understand success. And without the lows, the highs wouldn't mean nearly as much. And maybe that's why some of the happiest memories we have aren't even extraordinary. Sometimes it's just sitting around with your friends at 2 a.m., eating some stupid cheap food, laughing about something that isn't even funny, playing games until the sun comes up, or something like that. But years later, those are the memories you remember, not because they made you permanently happy, but because you were actually there for them. So maybe the goal shouldn't be happiness. Maybe the goal should be meaning, or connection, or growth, or simply experiencing life. Because sometimes the things that matter most aren't the things that make you feel good immediately. Going to the gym isn't always fun. Working isn't always fun. Taking care of someone isn't always fun. But that doesn't mean those things aren't valuable. If you only do those things because they make you happy immediately, then you're gonna miss out on a lot of things that make life meaningful in the long run. So no, you don't need to be happy. You don't need to wake up every morning and feel motivated, or don't need to be grateful every second. You're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to be bored, and you're allowed to feel lost, because your life doesn't become a bad life just because today wasn't a good day. And maybe instead of asking ourselves, am I happy all the time? We should start asking, am I living? Am I spending the time with the people I care about? Am I doing things that actually matter to me? Am I experiencing new things, or taking care of myself, creating memories? Because happiness comes and goes. It always has, and it always will. You can't hold on to it forever, and honestly, you shouldn't have to. Sometimes you're gonna have to laugh until your stomach hurts. Sometimes you're gonna cry. Sometimes you're gonna be excited. Sometimes you're gonna be bored, like completely bored. And sometimes you're gonna be lying in bed at 3 a.m. wondering what the hell you're doing. And that's not you failing at life. That's basically life. So stop treating every unhappy moment like something has gone wrong. Maybe you don't need to be happy. Maybe you just need to let yourself feel whatever you're feeling, and then keep going. Because you might wake up tomorrow and have the best day you've had in months, and you might not. But either way, you don't need to be happy to have a life worth living.